When James Gunn took over as the head of DC, many changes were made to the production and release of various projects. This meant that many shows were shelved to make way for other projects, often leading to the cancellation or indefinite postponement of some of the most anticipated and ambitious projects. As Marvel seems to be making headway in sales, the most loyal fans are left wondering what will become of their favorite franchise and why some of the most exciting projects were canceled. This video unravels one of the most highly anticipated projects that was supposed to take off and almost did multiple times and got canceled or halted indefinitely. Join me as I explain why the following Batman Beyond projects got rejected and discuss whether any of them will ever see the light of day. The show that almost became a movie before it even ended. When the Batman Beyond animated series came out first in 1999, the fans got to see an aged Bruce Wayne come to life, mentoring a younger juvenile delinquent going by the name of Terry McGinnis. In this show, Terry carries out chores for the older Batman and takes the form of the Caped Crusader while fighting crime. In this world, the original Batman has now become too old to fight crime, much to his chagrin, and Terry McGinnis acts as his heir as he fights crime in Neo Gotham City in his futuristic suit. Unlike Bruce, Terry's not an orphan but has a troubled background and is known for visiting the juvenile detention center. This series ran for 3 seasons and also gained a cult following due to its storyline. The show was created by Paul Dini, Bruce Timm, and Alan Burnett, and there were plans to make a full feature film out of the series. Boz Yakin was set to direct the film, who was also known for making the sports drama Remembering the Titans starring Denzel Washington in the year 2000. However, the production got canceled as Boz Yakin wanted to make it serious and dark, but his vision was rejected by WB, which wanted to keep it PG-13. While the film was being made, Paul Dini revealed that the character of elderly Bruce Wayne would be played by Clint Eastwood. However, the silver screen hero declined the offer, stating he wasn't the right fit for the role. The aforementioned is famous for popularizing Western cinema during the Silver Age of Hollywood, but declined the offer, stating his disinterest as well. The sequel to Return of the Joker that Catwoman killed before she could star in it. After the series Batman Beyond ended, an animated movie was made, which stood as a sequel to the series. The animated movie, Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, brought back the arch nemesis of the aged Caped Crusader, who was thought to be dead. However, the villain had transferred himself onto a microchip that had been injected into the previous Robin, Tim Drake. Unlike the cartoon series, this animated movie is much darker, filled to the brim with violence, and had to undergo a bunch of cuts and edits before being released. Despite having 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, this particular film wasn't as successful. Therefore, even though there has been a sequel planned for Return of the Joker, it didn't take off. In the sequel, even though the title suggests the presence of the evil clown, Selina Kyle, or Catwoman, is the antagonist of the film. In this film, her strategy to create a clone of Batman and give birth to Terry McGinnis was suggested, but the film never earned a green light to go into production. A similar plot was used in an episode of Justice League Unlimited under the title of Epilogue. In this, Terry is indeed revealed to be a clone of the Caped Crusader, but Catwoman has nothing to do with his cloning. Season 4 was quietly killed to make Justice League. Before Batman Beyond, we had the cartoon series called Batman the Animated Series. Even this particular production faced a lot of problems, as it had gone past the episode limit meant for a cartoon show on Fox Kids, which is 65 episodes. The first season itself had 65 episodes, and then the second season began with one entire episode dedicated to Batgirl and Catwoman. This second season ran for 20 episodes, and then after this we were given a third season in the form of a new show called The New Batman Adventures. In this show, Batgirl became a regular cast member, Tim Drake became the new Boy Wonder, and Dick Grayson became Nightwing. However, even this show ran for only 24 episodes, as producers wanted to make a new show similar to the then popular show Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The producers said they wanted a character kids could relate to, and that's why they came up with the idea of Batman Beyond, where a younger person would play the role of the Caped Crusader under the supervision and mentorship of an aged Bruce Wayne. As sad as the creators were to let go of the third season, discussing how difficult it was to leave the show with an inconclusive ending, what mattered for them was some form of creative control. They were able to give Batman the Animated Series a conclusion by continuing where they had left off from last time, where they show that the Joker and Harley Quinn have abducted Tim Drake and were brainwashing him to believe that he was their son. In Batman Beyond: The Return of the Joker, they show a 10-minute flashback of Batman fighting the Joker for the last time. Ultimately, all these series were eventually canceled, even Batman Beyond, which didn't receive a 4th season, as the creators had been tasked to make a Justice League series. However, they were able to somewhat include the ending of Batman Beyond in one of their episodes, involving Terry McGinnis' version of Batman. Denny and Tim both recalled that both these series felt extremely uneven and messy due to their endings. but did whatever they could to give justice to the beloved Batman series. The Keaton-led DCEU film that Gunn killed in 2 weeks. Michael Keaton returned as Batman for Flash. Apparently, this was supposed to be a build-up for him to return on screen and reprise the role of Batman in another film. This film was pitched by acclaimed screenwriter Christina Hodson, who also wrote The Flash and Birds of Prey. This film was supposed to be a live-action version of the Batman Beyond series, and after pitching the idea, the film received a green flag. The film would also feature Michelle Pfeiffer reprising her role as Selina Kyle, and the film would follow a romantic plot between the two characters. However, like Wonder Woman 3 and Man of Steel 2, this pitch was also canceled after 2 weeks, which wasn't a surprise, as other projects suggested by Christina Hodson had also been put on hold or shelved entirely, like the Batgirl series, where Keaton was to appear again, and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. The latter had Ben Affleck replacing Keaton as Batman. Despite all these projects being canceled, James Gunn took to Twitter to reassure the DC fans to remain hopeful for better upcoming projects. Furthermore, it would have been difficult to recruit Michelle Pfeiffer ever since she changed franchises. She became a part of Marvel as she took the role in the movie Ant-Man and the Wasp, playing the character of Janet Van Dyne, the original Wasp. Another project pitched and rejected, but still fans remain hopeful for a live-action Batman Beyond. The animated film that had real scripts and nobody killed it. With Black Adam not working for the DC franchise, the producers had to come up with a way to be able to compete with its competitor, Marvel, which had just released the animated movie Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. To combat the Sony-released movie, the former president of WB, Walter Hamada, had quietly commissioned the production of Batman Beyond. This was not the live-action movie Christina Hodson had pitched, but an animated movie, and the writer of Furious 9, Daniel Casey, had been hired. Casey was given the duty to write a script for this animated movie. This information was given away by an insider working at DC, Jeff Snyder, who also had added that despite this, he didn't have much faith that the project would actually be seen to fruition, as DC had become notorious for letting go of almost fully finished projects like Batgirl. But now that Gunn had introduced another studio under the label of Elseworlds, dedicated for standalone projects, fans began to have and continue to have hope for a Batman Beyond project. Snyder also added that while he didn't have much faith in this proposed animated movie, he also hadn't heard anyone canceling or dismissing this project entirely. So one could definitely assume that maybe this project is still under work at DC. The Spider-Verse pitch that got a maybe, and then nothing. Now, onto our final discussion. Will we really get to witness Batman beyond a cartoon that is something that's been on the minds of the fans ever since the series ended with a movie that included the Joker? However, recent history tells us that various new plots and artworks revolving around the series continue to get pitched at DC headquarters. In 2024, one of the artists who worked on Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Yuki Demers, came in with intricately drawn artwork, which included Terry McGinnis's version of Batman. In these drawings, Terry's being chased by one of the villains. In another, he's standing in the rain in a dark alley. And in the last, he's standing below a huge version of the emblem on his chest, with the name of the franchise right below it, and surrounded by the city of Gotham. Even though DC had first denied that they wouldn't be hearing any pitch that would include Batman Beyond, after seeing Demer and Patrick Harpin's, the creator of My Dad the Bounty Hunter, enthusiasm, they at least considered their pitch, replying with a maybe. Demers then took to Instagram by posting his art and encouraging his followers to take to social media if they wanted to see a Batman Beyond movie come to life. Demers also added they're going to continue pitching their ideas to the company, hopefully reaching James Gunn eventually, and pitching their idea for a Spider-Verse-esque concept for Batman. This and Daniel Casey's project seem to be separate, but both of them revolve around Batman Beyond, which just goes to show how impactful that particular series was. It also reveals just how many people are dying to see Batman Beyond come to life once again. But at the end of the day, nothing is certain as of yet. Like and subscribe if you want to keep enjoying similar content on our YouTube channel. And if it's any consolation for the lack of Batman Beyond movies, you'll continue to receive YouTube content from us. All good things take time, but as long as we have faith, you never know. Tomorrow, James Gunn might feel like surprising us by giving us some positive news regarding Batman Beyond. Right now, I'm going to go back and rewatch the series once again and try not to get sad about the fact that they've basically been canning the production of the movie each chance they get. Stay safe, have a good day, and as always, stay marvelous.